Well, hello, everyone. My name's Ellen Remmer. I am co-founder of Invest for Better and delighted to welcome you here to this evening program. I want to introduce my colleagues here. I have Janine Firpo, who is the other co-founder of Invest for Better, and she's coming in from Oakland. I'm here in Boston. And then Jasmine Tanguay, who you may have been in touch with before, who is also in the Boston area in Stoughton. So delighted to have you all here this evening. The goals of tonight's session are to help you decide whether to join a circle and whether this is the right community for you for where you're at right now. We hope the answer is yes. Help you better understand what's involved in being part of an Invest for Better circle, and essentially introduce you to the opportunity to be part of the movement. So what we think of as the Invest for Better movement. So if you've I see a lot of you have had a chance to write in where you're from. If anybody would dare to write in a little bit about what you hope to get out of being part of a circle or about this evening, that would be great. So we can make sure we respond to that. So we'll certainly give you time for questions. So tonight's agenda is pretty straightforward. We're going to talk for a little bit about Invest for Better, the organization, the movement, really how we came to be and where we're at right now. And then we're going to go into the circle experience itself and the experience of becoming an Invest for Better member. So we have a few videos so you can hear the voices from prior circle members about what they've gotten out of it. And we'll get into some specifics about expectations if you want to be part of one. What is it going to take for you? And then we'll do a Q&A and next steps. So we'll try to get through this as efficiently as possible. So Invest for Better is a 501c3 nonprofit. It was incubated several years ago at the Philanthropic Initiative, where I have been for 27 years. It started as a project there. And we spun it off just a year ago, right about now, a little bit late, not quite a year ago, with Janine, who I have known for several years. 3 or 4 years, because we clearly were of like-minded people. And we had both started Invest for Better circles, basically, the concept of that, and we're running those circles. Meanwhile, Janine was actually thinking of writing a book. So when she met me and realized I was doing the circle thing, she said, great, I'm going to focus on my book. So you'll be hearing a little bit more about her book later. But we started as a project. It got just such great resonance and such a great response. We decided that it really warranted being its own organization. And we think we're really trying to be catalysts for a movement that empowers women to understand the power of their investments, learn how to align them with their values, and activate them for a more just and sustainable world. So we're doing a variety of things, but the primary secret sauce to what we do is providing this Invest for Better circle experience. And you're going to hear a lot more about what that is in a few minutes. As part of providing that experience, we train volunteer circle leaders, amazing women who are willing to they're evangelists, willing to give of their time and their networks to bring more women into the movement and to facilitate and lead your circles. We'll also provide you with membership in a community, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. We've got an online community and the opportunity to have Zoom connections as well. And then we provide additional education about values-aligned investing. And again, we'll go into more of that as we go through this evening. So here's a little bit more about, this was a brand story that was put together for us to give you a sense of the spirit of what we're all about at Invest for Better. It's just a two and a half minutes video.
Money is power. So you work hard to get it and you work hard to keep it. You're doing well, but you also want to do good. For you, it's not just about wealth creation. It's also about being in alignment with your values. But investing your money and making decisions about where to move it can feel overwhelming. Where do you start? How do I know what I'm invested in? What if I'm funding things I don't agree with, like fossil fuels, prisons, tobacco, weapons? How do I move those funds and to where? What if I make a mistake? The current financial system was built by men for men. And while most men learn from other men how to use the system to their advantage, a lot of women don't have those conversations. You feel like you don't know enough to take action with your money, and you don't have time to figure it out on your own. Women are more likely than men to give to charity as their income rises, but we don't trust ourselves as investors. It feels like the financial system doesn't speak to us. You're frustrated with what feels like a flawed financial system. You realize that you're not in control of your own money. What if we told you there's a better way? At Invest for Better, we are leading a movement to build a better system that aligns with our values. We're doing this by educating women on a different approach to investing. It's not about giving money away, and it's not about profit at all costs. Values-aligned investing is about investing in what matters to you and getting great returns along the way. Things like sustainable food and agriculture, supporting female small business owners, or clean energy. We can help you do this. Invest for Better is a values-aligned money academy with peer-led investing circles and a trusted community built by women for women. We are a movement that is reimagining investing. We've created a values-aligned investing curriculum that demystifies the financial system. Our peer-led investing circles help you learn how to use your investments as a force for meaningful change. And more than anything, we are a trusted community of women who encourage each other to take action and have fun along the way. Unlike guides you've had in the past, an advisor who talked down to you, a book that told you to just save more than you spend, we're not interested in perpetuating the status quo. We're here to help you step into your power. Join the ranks of all the fierce women who are courageous enough to do things differently. Join the women who are leading the way with Invest for Better.
Oh, I haven't seen that in such a long time. It's fun. We could go deep into the whole history and how we got there and that whole story, but I think that should give you a little bit of a spirit of what we're trying to do. There's a whole lot more behind that. But so here, what does it mean to be part of a circle and to become a member of Invest for Better? So there's participation in the Invest for Better circle itself, which we'll be talking about. It's a 6-month experience. You also get a copy of this book, Activate Your Money, Invest to Grow Your Wealth and Build a Better World, which Janine wrote and is actually a lot. It is, the curriculum is based on the book, which is amazing. We also have a mighty network content and community. This is a platform, an online platform, which is very robust, very user-friendly as a way to kind of find all the materials, as well as pose questions and connect with others. Even the circles sometimes set up their own mighty networks. In addition to that, there is every month, there are 3 optional webinars. 2 of them are often are expert-led on some theme or issue or asset class, and also include lots of time for questions. And then there's once a month, another expert, but it's a much more open-ended Ask Me Anything session. And then after the 6 months of doing the circle, you'll be able to take optional deep dive courses. And those are going to be on topics such as gender lens investing. And these will be like 3-session courses where you're, again, part of a peer circle. It's not like you're just sitting there being taught. You're really working with peers and learning from each other and holding each other accountable. So gender lens investing, angel investing, public equity. So a chance to go deeper on the topics that you maybe haven't had time to go as deep on in the initial circle. And then a growing amount of discounts and free access to other services. We have this amazing partner, Values Advisor, who can help you find, if you're looking for, you might be a do-it-yourselfer, but if you're looking for a financial advisor who would be able to help you with your values, they can help you with that and all kinds of other different services and benefits. So top level, the circle experience. We have these incredible volunteer leaders. A couple of them are on the call tonight, who are the conveners. They're the leaders of the circle experience, and hopefully they have recruited you. Some of you may have come in other ways, but in many cases, the circle leaders have gone out to their peers and friends and colleagues, and they will guide you through this process. You'll meet monthly for 6 months, either in person or virtually. Some are doing hybrid. And the membership of this peer group is anywhere from 8 to 20 women per circle. Often, if it's a larger group, they divide up into smaller little accountability groups, but it creates a real sense of community and trust and fun because you're in the same group when you're in your circle meetings for the entire time. So here's a little bit from some circle members, give you, again, a flavor.
For Better Circles are doing is I just believe this is capturing kind of a movement, a feeling across the country that I'm noticing, and I'm sure many of you are. That's why we're all here today, that women are just like ready to be empowered about their money in ways that we never have, that we historically have not been. Just say if there's any ounce of you that's a little bit nervous or feeling, what have I gotten myself into? I felt that way, and now I'm like, oh, you know, that was not an issue. This is a community. We're all here together, learning together. You don't have to know all the things. We're all, and it's just great that you're doing this, and let's get more of these circles happening all across the country.
I joined an Invest for Better circle to meet and collaborate with other women to move the needle on racial justice investing in particular. The circle led me to recruit other women with influence into deeper impact investing, and I've got a list of action steps to further align money with values, both in my own portfolio, but also with the organizations I'm involved with, in my denomination's endowment and a local foundation. Join the circle and spread the word. It's an awesome experience.
A couple years ago, I started an Invest for Better circle so that I could learn alongside other women in my community about how to shift our money to align with our values. And I'm so glad I did. Not only have I made personal changes in where my money is invested, but I've also been able to learn alongside others. And we've built an amazing network of women who are learning and growing and making change. I'm so thrilled to be part of the Invest for Better network, and I hope you'll join too.
Perfect level for our members to be having these conversations. Some of the feedback we've gotten from them is that, you know, not ready to really create my, official plan just yet, but I feel so much more empowered. I feel so much more fluent. I have increased awareness. Now when I see a news article about impact investing, I feel a part of the conversation, and just feeling more ready to have those conversations in their households and establish a plan.
Really enjoyed was really diving into how you personally view money. I actually took some of this learning and over the weekend worked with my own family to figure out some of our own financial archetypes and different things like that, and it brought up some really, really interesting discussions that I think will really help our family personally.
It's such a great way for me to continue to grow my own understanding of this and really be able to figure out what kind of actions I want to take. The greatest space for everybody could just bring whatever you're bringing to the table and let's learn together. And that's really what it is. It's about, let's just learn together and find out about this stuff. It was also a really great way for us to continue to build a network beyond ourselves into these other, incredibly smart, intelligent, funny, wonderful women that are doing some really amazing work.
Great. Well, as you can tell, we've been doing this for a while. We've had some amazing women participate. We know you'll be more of them. So we have run 3 cohorts of circles. So there've been about 60 circles, a little bit more than 60 circles. Although, and now this will be our 4th cohort, the one that is going to be starting in May that you'll be joining. We've reached about 600 women in those 3 cohorts, and looking forward to reaching a bunch more in this cohort and then another one in the fall. The response has been great in terms of satisfaction. We also, while it's not mandatory to move your money during the circle experience, some of you might not be ready. We've been pleased that about 60% actually have moved some money during that period. And then other benefits, being more knowledgeable, more confident. A lot of people, it's like confidence to ask the right questions now, strengthen network, et cetera. And most people very likely to recommend circle membership to others. Over to you, Janine.
Okay, I will jump in. Hi, everyone. So I'm Janine Firpo, and as Ellen said, I'm a co-founder of Invest for Better. She mentioned the book that I wrote, which is Activate Your Money. And the reason that I wrote the book is because I've been an investor for over 30 years. I started by investing in individual companies in the stock market. And about a decade ago, decided that I wanted to figure out how to move all of my own assets into alignment with my values. And I've been on that journey, as I said, for about 10 years. And I realized that there is now an opportunity that anyone can do this. And so I wanted to write a book to demystify the whole area of values-aligned investing. And I wrote it specifically for women because we've been left out of this conversation to such a degree. But as I was writing it, I realized that a lot of women don't feel confident as investors writ large, not just around their values, but they don't understand how to invest, or they don't feel confident around that. So I just want to make it clear that you do not have to have some preset expertise to join a circle. The circles are really for women who are just starting, as well as for women who are much more advanced. There's no preset amount of money that you need to have. As long as you have investable capital and a desire to learn how to be a smarter, more confident investor, then these circles and the Invest for Better membership can really be of benefit to you. We started out with a 6-month curriculum, sort of an introduction curriculum, which I'll explain in a minute, but it is based on the book. The book goes much deeper into a lot of material. And the way that you get into that greater depth is through some of these deep dive courses that Ellen mentioned. And our curriculum was designed and written for us by a retired adult educator. So Ellen's retired, I'm retired. We do this because we're really passionate about it. And we have a lot of women who are helping us do this. In fact, about 150 women contributed to the book, their expertise and their insights. So when you come into an Invest for Better circle, it really is an introductory preliminary set of activities that you go through. So the very first month, you'll have some homework. And the very first month, you'll talk about what is this stuff? What is values-aligned investing? And why is it important for women? And why is it important now? And what is the potential that we have as women to really change the economy and change the world through the way we invest our assets? And you'll also have an opportunity in the first meeting to get to know each other. The meetings are really set up for conversation. So the purpose is for you to build a close relationship with the other women in your circle. The second month is focused on the stories we tell ourselves as a society and that we tell ourselves through our personal experience about money. And we have a lot of biases that many of us don't even recognize that get in our way of moving our money and using our money in ways to grow our wealth and be effective for us and for our families. So we talk about that. And then we also talk about, if you're going to be a values-aligned investor, what are your values? And how do you even know how to pick them? Then we go into a month that's really kind of foundational and fundamental and is about your asset allocation. And what that means is, if you have money in cash, you have money in bonds, you have money in stocks, maybe you do private investing, maybe you're in real estate, maybe you're in crypto, whatever it is, how do you allocate what percentage of your total net worth is in each of those different buckets? And when I was writing the book, I learned that that choice of how you allocate your assets is actually more important to your long-term financial health than the actual investments you make. And a lot of women don't know what they're actually invested in. So we go through a process of helping you do that and together and see how other women are invested. That is a really fascinating conversation. From there, we explain to you across all asset classes, what are some of the things that you could do? What would this look like if you started moving your money in more values aligned ways? And then we help you write something called an investment policy statement in the 5th meeting, which is an articulation of what you've learned so far around your values, your asset allocations, and what your goals are with your money and how you might want to invest that money and where you might want to start in terms of making one choice about moving some of your money into a more aligned fashion. And then the final session is about financial advisors, how to work with them, how much they charge, what services they offer. You talk about whether you have them, whether you like them, and then we can help you find values aligned advisors. Once you've gone through this, you then will have, by the time you guys are ready, there will be about 7 deep dive courses, each of which is 3 months in length, that you can choose from. And you can either stay in your circle and do it together as a circle, pick one and work together as a circle. You could decide to opt out for a quarter. You could join another circle who's working on something that you want to work on. But Ellen already mentioned some examples of the deeper dive. Other examples are for those of you who just feel like you really need those financial fundamentals. We have 2 financial advisors who are building a financial planning course that will teach you how to really get grounded in the basics of investing. Many people are invested in the stock market. It's a big part of where our money is allocated, and there will be a deep dive course on, okay, I want to know more about how do I find values aligned investments in the stock market. And you'll work with other women to share the responsibility of the research so that at the end of 3 months, you actually have some solid ideas about what you could move your money to when that opportunity arises. We'll have another deep dive on racial equity, another one on climate change. And so there are a whole set of additional courses that we're bringing to the table, which will enable you to have a full year of learning or more. Because after you join for 1 year, if you like the experience, if you like what you're getting from Invest for Better, you can always join for another year and continue to benefit from the material. Okay, Jasmine. This is how Ellen went through a little of this, but basically the way that the learning works is you'll have about an hour of homework that you'll do each month prior to your meeting. The homework will consist of reading a chapter of the book, watching some videos, and probably working through a worksheet that you will then take to the meeting itself, which is anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, depending on whether or not you are meeting in person or virtually. We just heard today from one of our circle members that are circle leaders that her group is so tight knit and they enjoy hanging out so much together, they're having 4-hour meetings. But that is definitely an outlier. So it's usually about an hour and a half is the common time. And you will, in the meeting, work both in large groups as well as in smaller groups to actually talk through what you learned. So the purpose of the meetings themselves are really for building trust, learning, and learning together, as opposed to going to a meeting and watching a video or something. Okay, Jasmine. There are ground rules for the meetings. This is an example of those ground rules. And this is really about how people should be able to show up in the meeting. One of the biggest things is to have respect for confidentiality and privacy, that the circle is a closed group, and that people have the right to pass if they don't want to talk. They don't have to. There's no selling going on. This is really a sharing opportunity, and you're going to be both a learner and a teacher in this environment. We're all there to support each other. Next slide, Jasmine. I sort of went through this before already. This is what you would do prior to a session. This is your homework. And this is what you would do in the session. Large group, break down into small groups to really talk things through, and then go back into the large group to report out and see what other people experienced. And then between the sessions, and this goes back to what Ellen had talked about, we have additional resources for you that are available. There's all kinds of resources if you need them. There's video training. There's a bunch of stuff should you need that. We have the activation series, which are these 2 experts who speak each month. And to give you a sense of what those talks are about, we had one woman come in who's a specialist on financial intimacy and how you work with your spouse, partner, or other members of your family to really deal with money issues. We have a woman coming up this month who's going to be teaching us about cryptocurrency, helping women understand whether we should be investing in that. We also started the series with a woman named Amy Domini, who is one of the founders, if you will, of what is now known as sustainable investing. And so she talked to us a little bit about the history of the space. And then the Ask the Expert sessions are where you get a chance to talk to a financial advisor, to ask them anything about your particular financial situation or any questions you might have from the materials. And then we have the discussion forum through Mighty Networks.
Okay, thanks, Janine and Ellen. It's so inspiring to be part of this movement with you, and the women that I've met through this experience just blown me away. So given all of this amazing content, how do we deliver it to you? The leaders are really central to this experience, and they're going to have a personal relationship with you throughout your first 6 months at minimum. But we also have a beautiful online portal to support and enhance your experience. And so about 6 months ago, we went out to find a kind of a one-stop shop where we could provide access to the many different kinds of offerings that we wanted to bring to the Invest for Better community. We wanted a place where people could access the curriculum directly. We wanted to be able to keep track of all these events Janine was talking about. We wanted to have a place for conversation. We've found something that even allows each circle to have its own private group on the network for continuing their own conversations in between meetings. And we wanted to be able to give you access to a range of member benefits and supplemental content like recordings of all of the sessions that have come before. So we think we found, a great product to provide this. It's kind of like a private social network. You'll recognize the interface is very much like Facebook or LinkedIn, but none of the distractions, and really everyone's here to contribute to the community. And it does also give you sort of the ability to track your progress through the curriculum, sort of an online course interface where you can access materials like video here, watch it, check it off the list, and just keep track as you go of the pre-work that you do before each meeting. But in addition, there's all these other aspects to it. We've got events and recordings of previous events. We've got people who are kind of connecting with each other around questions questions that are asked and then answered, people who are connecting geographically, people who are connecting around interest areas. So it's really growing as a place where the entire Invest for Better community, including people who did circles a year ago, can be part of the conversation and contribute their insight to your questions. And we even have there's a phone app, so you can put it on your tablet or your phone and take it with you. It's pretty easy to use, a little bit of a learning curve, but it really does offer an opportunity to really easily access all of these different benefits that we want to bring to you. Okay, so now that we've talked about all of the amazing things that are part of membership, I just wanted to walk you briefly through the steps to becoming a member, and then we wanted to save lots of time for question and answer, so we will do that next. So whenever you're ready to join, what you're going to do is follow the link in the follow the link to the registration questionnaire. It's also available on our website. When you get, it's a fairly detailed questionnaire because we're going to share that information with the circle leader, and it really is asking you questions about what your goals are, what kind of assets you want to be focusing on, and so forth. So we provide that to circle leaders so that they can kind of customize as best they can based on who's in the circle. After you submit that questionnaire, you'll get a link that's going to take you to Mighty Networks to set up an account. So you're going to purchase this circle membership plan, but really it's a charitable contribution to Invest for Better. $75 of it is tax deductible, $25 is covering the book. We'll then get your book in the mail. If you're within the US, we do ebooks for overseas folks. But so once that happens, things are underway. We do provide the first chapter of Activate Your Money digitally, so people can get started before their book has arrived. And also, as soon as you've got your Mighty Networks account, you can access the curriculum. You can see what the pre-work is going to be for your first meeting and all of that. Now, some of you have been invited to join a particular circle, and some of you have found out about us some other way and are looking to find a circle. And so we can help with that process. If you put it on your registration form that you're seeking a circle, we'll follow up with you and provide you with a list of leaders who are looking for members, and help you make that match. So once you get through that process and we get to May, the circles generally will be having their first meeting. And so you're going to want to, at your convenience, get your pre-work done before your first meeting, read the first chapter of the book and a couple other items. We are going to have a Zoom session for all new members and others on May 25th to go over the Mighty Network and all of the other parts of your membership so you can take best advantage of all of that. And then the first meeting with your circle, and your leader is really going to be coordinating all of the timing and details around the meeting itself. And here at headquarters, we're providing all of the infrastructure around that to support you.